Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 3 of SPDL. Yes, I know it's been a long time. I've been quite busy. The reason it's been so long is partly because by I think week 3ish, yeah, before week 3, I had been recovering from, how long ago was that? It was like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I had been recovering from my knee surgery, so I was, getting back into boxing, and like therapy sessions and doctor's appointments was everywhere, and then school and stuff was just pretty busy. So there were a lot of things going on, and then a lot of my free time was just being eaten up by CDL and the content that I've been posting for that league. But we're back, and I'm trying to speedrun. So this episode or this video will come out with slides. It'll have everything. The next video will be a double feature, and it won't have slides because I just don't have that type of time. And then the one after that will have slides. It'll go back to normal after that. But this game, then the next 2 games will not have slides. They'll be together, and then after that, it should be back to normal. I'm just trying to catch up because we play Keenan next week, and that's going to be a fun game that I want to get recorded up and on. So this is the matchup going into week 3. We are against the Pittsburgh Melmetals, and I believe, it's Thunder. It's Thunder. As you can see right away from the matchup, his team is pretty insane. So he has Lele and Dracovish on the same team, which is kind of everyone else's fault. That's drafting, I'm not gonna lie. That's a pretty deadly combo. Lele has, infamous for having very few switch-ins generally, and so does Dracovish. Supported very well with Ferrothorn and Deoxys and Donphan. Those are three that work decently well together, especially when you spend all that money in the attackers. Vanillix and Arctozolt make a cool Pocket Core for Hail, and Mega Pidgeot's awesome as well. Scrafty's cool, and Entei's cool. So looking at the matchup, right? So we can kind of beat Dracovish and Lele offensively with Rillaboom, assuming we get some chip on Dracovish. But he has like 100 switch-ins, right? I would need to be banded for that. But he has Ferrothorn switch-in for grass moves. He has Entei for grass moves. He has Deoxys defense for everything else. He has Mega Pidgeot for grass moves, and more importantly, fighting moves. And I think his Mega Pidgeot with Roost is his best switching because it's not going to take extra damage from knockoff. It's not taking anything from U-turn. It's not taking anything from Superpower, and it won't take anything from Grassy Glide, obviously. So Pidgeot kind of hardwalls. Or actually, most flying is kind of hardwall with Rillaboom because there's no any rock type coverage. Mega Mawile is also super good this game. It can beat Lele, it can beat Dracovish. You'll see why. It can beat Ferrothorn, it can beat Entei. It can knock off Deoxys, it can Sucker Punch Arctozolt, it can Sucker Punch Pidgeot, it can Sucker Punch Vanillux, it can do stuff to Donphan, and when Sturdy is broken, it can Sucker Punch Scrafty, or it can Sucker Punch Haunter, and it can play rough Scrafty. And then Ariados isn't a problem. So, we have a couple options. Mawile's super good. Rillaboom's good if I can get the reads right, but he has like a million switches to everything. Like Mega Pidgeot and Deoxys defense take fighting type attacks, Ferrothorn, and take grass type attacks. Nothing really likes being knocked off, but Pidgeot and Entei Pidgeot and Ferrothorn can both, handle a knockoff. It's not like they're losing their entire life existence if they lose that knockoff. Actually, Ferrothorn, it could suck a little bit, but it's not as big of a deal. That's gonna be. I think I'm just gonna go into the slides now, because looking at this league matchup is just gonna be a lot of people I showed was this matchup's really bad for you, and if you do well, it'll be a good win. And I was yeah, but it definitely was a winnable. We had an option, we had a chance to win anyway. So I was pretty hopeful going into the building process, and these are the 6 we brought. So starting off, we have Rillaboom. It is our best way to check offensively, at least, the Lele and the Dracovish after some chip. We have Superpower, Grassy Glide, Knockoff, U-turn. Pretty self-explanatory. It's also pretty good just in general. Grassy Glide's good after. He can only bring so many of his resistances, right? And if he brings all of his resistances to this guy, it makes it pretty... it makes it more obvious what he's bringing, so we can build around that correctly. Next we have Mawile. Mawile is going to be the 100% win con in this game. You'll see why in a second. It has a Brave Nature, 0 speed, Play Rough, Knockoff, Fire Fang, Swords Dance. Play Rough Knockoff hits everything after a Swords Dance for a kill, and then Fire Fang will take care of the Ferrothorn, which is, kind of the only thing that would stand in the way of this thing, but it just runs Fire Fang instead. Next we have Slowking. with Future Sight teleport, Trick Room slack off, holding the leftovers. We can't really outspeed anything on his team, right? Dracovish and Lele are both faster, and then Monwai, of course, can't run Sucker Punch too often because of the terrain. Like it'll be conditional on when I can click Sucker Punch depending on when terrain's up, and that's really sucky. So just being faster than everything is going to be cool. So Trick Room, teleport into Monwai is pretty much the play. Him on top is Intimidate, physically defensive with Impish, Triple Axle, close combat, Rapid Spin, Toxic, and then Incineroar is going to be Assault Vest, knockoff Flameless, close combat, U-turn. Zygarde is going to be Choice Scarfed, it'll outspeed and revenge Lele and Scarf Dracovish, even though I'm pretty sure it's going to be banded. Toxic is there because his switch in is, I believe, what was his switch in? Switch-in was Donphan or something. Yeah, I think it was Donphan. I'm not sure, but Toxic's there to catch the switch-in that I don't like switching in. Arrows, Outrage Superpower hits the Lele and her Arrows hits everything. Outrage is for if things get desperate. I need to just remove that Dracovish, and then Superpower 2-hit KOs Ferrothorn after some chip. Sorry if that was fast. I had been told that whole process of breaking down the teams was taking way too long, so I just tried to speed it up as much as I could. So here we are looking at the lead matchup. So right away, we don't see. What do I not see that I was super pumped about? What did I not see? What am I not seeing here? Either way, the first thing I saw was the Dracovish and the Lele together, and I was like, I'm not sure why. I was expecting those two, obviously, and I was expecting Entei and Ferrothorn, but seeing them all together like got me really nervous. Pidgeot came, so and then the Scrafty came, which ends up being a problem, and it shouldn't be actually. Actually, yeah, we don't see the Hail Core, and we don't see the, what was the other thing? We don't see the Hail Core, we don't see Deoxys Defense, and Deoxys Defense had Teleport, which is kind of annoying. So, going ahead, and let me turn the music off first of all before we start, which would be super good. I forget what I lead. This happened 3 weeks ago, so I'm not totally sure, like, I'll try to remember what I was thinking and stuff, but, you know. He leads this guy on my Slowking. That's pretty obvious play. Obviously, I'm worried about the Dracovish or the Lele, so I bring in Slowking, which can live one hit from either of those, so he obviously sends out Captain Pants and is going to force me out into him on top. Top is going to knock me off, which is not too big of a deal. I lose lefties, but that's a little annoying, but it's fine. He reveals Life Orb, which is cool, and I go ahead and Toxic the bird. I swap into Incineroar here and take like 30% from Hurricane. Because I'm Assault Vested, of course. And this is kind of where I make a misplay here. So I go ahead and stay in on the parting shot as he U-turns, and that kind of sucks for me, and you'll see why in a second. Actually, I'll just tell you. That puts me in range of 2 Moonblast, which is really, or Moonblast from Specs Lele, which really sucks for me now. So that was a misplay I just like oversaw. I should have gone like Zygarde, I guess, potentially. I should have gone Zygarde or back into Hitmontop. I U-turn on the Scrafty and go back into top. I thought about clicking Triple Axle here. I think I did click Triple Axle here, right? No, I click Close Combat and do 13% to this guy, and now I'm kind of like, okay, well, something's gonna die here. I go into Incineroar, not realizing that Moonblast 2-hit KOs, and I was like, oh, that sucks. But I think it might have 2-hit KO'd even if I didn't take the U-turn chip. No, I think I always lived if I didn't take the U-turn chip, so that sucks for me. So now Incineroar is gone, and I have a hard time switching into Pidgeot and Lele, but Lele has now locked into Moonblast. I can go Slowking freely and click my move. Why am I tripping out? What's it called? Trick Room. I can click Trick Room for free. I go hard into Mawile, which is kind of a misplay to take a Moonblast. It is 1,000,000%. That was kind of stupid, but I was just anxious about getting it in. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I didn't teleport obviously because Moonblast would have killed me. I switched to Annabelle here and just knock off this guy's Choice Band. He goes into Scrafty, as I believe I just knock off again. Yeah, I will knock off again. I'm not sure why I knocked off again. I think I just clicked it again. I should have clicked Play Rough, but you know, it is what it is. Entei comes in here on the Play Rough and dies. Yeah, I did that. I'm not sure why I didn't click Play Rough there. So he burns all to my terrain with all of my Trick Room turns, but he's now down at Entei, which opens up Rillaboom a little bit. I sack this guy to Lele because there's nothing I can do here. I bring back in Slow King to set up my thing again. As you can see, like I just can't switch into this thing. Like nothing switches in. Only a few things handle it. So I have to sack their Incineroar. Incineroar was good, but it wasn't like the greatest this game. It can help with Ferrothorn, it can help with Scrafty, but Mawile does that for both of them. It doesn't help with Lele, it doesn't help with Dracovish, doesn't help with Mega Pidgeot, so I decided to sack that. William comes in here and I sack William here. I Trick Room Future Sight. I'm not sure why I did that, honestly. I was thinking that I need Rillaboom potentially for revenging Dracovish and stopping Terrain. I need Zygarde because Zygarde's Scarfed, I guess. I don't know. But I think saving this would have been a better play. I go back into Mawile and I'm forcing him out here, so I go ahead and click Knock Off. That's stupid, I should have Swords Danced. I go ahead and click Player Off on the Scrafty. I'm not -1 attack, which sucks, with 2 Sins of Trick Room, which is cool though. Ferrothorn comes out here and he swaps into Dracovish as I Fire Fang and completely misplay. And now Dracovish is in. Against my guy, and I can't do anything about it. So I switch out into Rillaboom. So actually, here's my thought process, right? Obviously, nothing switches in anymore, right? I can't switch in anything. The only chance I have of winning this now is getting rid of Ferrothorn, chipping down Mega Pidgeot with Grassy Glide, and then just cleaning with, or chipping down stuff with Grassy Glide, and then cleaning with Zygarde. So I go ahead and switch into Rillaboom here and live on like 1 HP. I wasn't calced to live on it, just live. And then I double back into Mawile to get Mawile in on Ferrothorn. So I read the Ferrothorn here. Obviously Ferrothorn comes in. I get a little bit of health, and now I have a chance to win. I misplay, so I go ahead and I should have like Swords Dance. I should have Fire Fanged. I should have just hard Fire Fanged. But instead I Play Rough on the Ferrothorn, and I'm like, okay, that sucks. And then of course he's Rocky Helmet, so I'm just taking a million. If he was Leech Seed there, I might have cried. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll click Fire Fang now, and then he switches into Dracovish, and I didn't double Play Rough, so that sucks. And now at this point, I kind of lose, right? Rillaboom dies to this stupid Spike. Zygarde comes out here, and I get this kill here, but it doesn't matter because Lele just revenges. This only preserves differential for me. And then Lele comes out here and just sweeps the rest of my team. So, I mean, did I make a bunch of bad plays? Like, I don't think I made a ton of bad plays. Like, I believe we were talking about it after, and everyone was kind of like, well, all the plays you made were reasonable, it was just the wrong ones. And, you know, that happens some games, and it sucks to lose like that, obviously. But really, at the end of the day, it just comes down to the fact that we handled Thunder's offense wrong. We handled it not as optimally as we could have. I think that sacking Slow King was the wrong play. I think Slow King needed to stick around to give Mawile more chances. I think I needed to play more aggressively with Mawile, and had I got the plays correctly, I think I could have definitely won that game. Obviously, like, had I Play Rough on the Dracovish, I'm in a much better position, right? So, you know, it all depends. But at that point, you know, like, it's tough. It's tough at that point. But yeah, that is gonna be it for week 3. GG to Thunder. I hope he makes playoffs, dude. Good luck to everybody I play. Actually, like, everyone I play is super good this season. Like, everyone's been awesome, and super good sports too. Like, no one's been super toxic or anything to me, which is awesome. But yeah, this is gonna be our first loss of the season. We're gonna be 2-1 heading forward into week 4, and that is gonna be it for the rest. Well, for this video. Goodbye. God bless, and have a great day.